So we're going to be writing equations day 1. Here are all the different formulas that will be helpful when we're writing equations over the next week. So you have your slope-intercept form. This is called point-slope form, which we're going to use when we have a point. Standard form, and then your slope formula. And you can use your notes, so you'll always have these formulas for you. So when you are writing the equation of a line, step 1 here is going to be find the slope. So when we find the slope, I'll either tell you what the slope is, or if you have to use the slope formula. And then if it says it's parallel or perpendicular, then you pull the slope from the line that's given. So whatever way it is, make sure that you have your slope. Step 2 is once you have your slope, you're going to substitute your slope and a point, like an XY coordinate, into point slope formula, and then convert it to whatever the question is asking for. So if you flip it over, we're going to do some of these examples here. So for number 1, it says write the equation of a line that has a slope of 5 and a y-intercept of -6. So this one is easiest if you use y equals mx plus b. So remember from last section, we know that the m is our slope and the b is the y-intercept. So all I'm going to do is plug in the 5 for m, because that's my slope, and then the -6 for b, because I know that's my y-intercept. Same thing with 2. Slope of 4, y-intercept of -2. So if I'm using this equation again, m is my slope, b is my y-intercept. So m is my slope, and then b is my y-intercept. For number 3, it says a cab company charges $5 for a boarding rate, in addition to a meter, which is $3 for every mile. What is the equation of the line that represents this cab company's rate? So they are charging you $5 for boarding and then $3 for every mile. So you have to decide which one is the slope. So the slope is the one that is going to be increasing. So if you're in this cab, which number is the one that you're being charged per or for every something? So if you notice here, it's $3 for every mile. So the 3 is going to be my slope, because that is the rate. Like if I told you 10 miles, it's $3 every mile. So I know that 3 is my slope because that's the one that's a variable with my mile. And then a boarding rate means like you got in the cab. So if you get in the cab, it's $5 no matter what. The slope is the one that is constantly changing depending on how far you're driving the cab. For number 4, in my town, if I rent a moving truck, it costs $39.99 a day and then 89 cents per mile. Write the equation of this line. So once again, your slope is the one that's for the one that's multiplying due to doing something. So if you notice here, it's 89 cents every mile I drive the truck. So if it's 89 cents every mile I drive the truck, that is my slope. And then the base rate to get the truck is $39.99. So that is my y-intercept. So your y-intercept is always some kind of base fee, and then your slope is the one that's can change based off what you're doing. And then it asks you how much will you have to pay if you travel 54 miles. So X is miles. So they're just saying if you go 54 miles, how much would you be charged? So plug it into your calculator here. So you'd be charged 88.5. All right, for number 5, it tells you that it passes through the point 4, 5 and has a slope of 3. So I can't go right to y equals mx plus b because I don't know what my y-intercept is. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to plug in 4 for x, 5 for y, and then 3 is my slope. So I'm going to have to plug in for y, m, and x, and then solve for b. So my y is 5. My slope is 3, and then my x is 4. I don't know what my y-intercept is yet. That's what I have to solve for. So 5 equals 12 plus b. So if I subtract the 12 over, I get b equals, what's 5 minus 12? 5 minus 12, negative 7. So now I have b and m. I just take my m and plug it back in with my b. Your final answer should have x's and y's in it. Don't leave the point in there once you solve for b. And then same thing for the next one. I have an x, a y, and an m. So I'm going to plug my y, my m, and my x in, but I have to solve for b. So 6 equals negative 6. If I add this over, I get 12 equals b. So now I'm going to take my slope and my b, which is my y-intercept, and plug it back in. We are going to do the other problems tomorrow.